It is September 25th, 2019. We're here at 6241 Estrella Avenue in San Diego, California, 92120. We're here on the rooftop over the hall bathroom. This was remodeled. We can see from the crawl space that they have all new ABS plastic, but there's no clean outs that they installed over by the crawl space entrance where this sewer line kind of begins on this side of the house. Here we have a 2-inch cast iron vent, and right over the roof line here you can see that is a larger 3-inch cast iron vent. It appears they must have moved the plumbing around, because where we're at over with this vent is more where the toilet is, and that usually is the larger vent, of course. So we're going to go down this pipe and see how things are attached or connected. A little bit of spider webs there, as you can see. Okay, so it looks like this has been abandoned here. So you can see that there is a piece of plastic that's been stuffed in the line and capped off. Some little debris, and then the line is just capped. So this vent is not active. It does need to be capped then from the rooftop. So right here, what's called a gym cap needs to be installed on the top of this, because otherwise rainwaters continue to go down here over time, deteriorate the pipe, and leak through either the cap that they put on the bottom or even through the side walls when it's sitting in there long enough. So we're going to pause the video really quick and just move our equipment over to the other vent. Okay, so we're now going to go down this 3-inch vent. So we're assuming as this goes down, there must be some T's or 90s that were installed on it to make the connections into the other pipe. Okay, so here you can see we have another smaller pipe pushed up inside this one. It should be banded and connected and sealed, otherwise water can leak by. So it looks like they stuffed one up inside. You can see we can't tell that it's how it's connected. We are a little over 6 feet, almost 7 feet in, so it wouldn't be probably exposed in the roof line, or in the attic, I'm sorry. So we'll go ahead and try to see if we can get our camera to maneuver through here into this, what appears to be a 2-inch pipe that they stuffed up inside. So you are allowed to have a 2-inch pipe for a toilet vent, and for all the vents for the bathroom can all share this one pipe. As you can see, we're having trouble because of how it was connected. Normally the pipe would not be stuffed up inside, it would be cut and connected where the two end at each other with then a rubber boot, so there's a smooth transition. It's not a problem if it's still banded or sealed properly, so that again any rainwater doesn't leak out from this transition from the big pipe to the small pipe. Right now though, it's obviously hampering our ability to get our camera down there. This would be the same thing if this pipe ever clogs up and somebody tries to snake it from the rooftop. It's not going to work. One, they don't know possibly that the line is getting smaller, and then two, that it's offset, so we can't make an actual connection and drop into there. We're gonna have to go ahead and pause the video. We're gonna have to try to go ahead and put some string on the end of our camera so that we can steer it through that opening to try to see if we can get this to go down and access through the pipe. So we're gonna pause the video for a second here. Okay, so we have a little bit of string on the end of our camera. We're now going to go ahead and see as we drop this down here if we can get this to maneuver and pull back on the string so it doesn't trail with the camera. So we're going to come back up to the spot we're at here, about 7 feet. Now we've got our string attached just loosely. See if it'll give it. Nope, didn't work there. We're going to go ahead and pause again. Okay, so it took a little bit, but we were able to maneuver the camera head with a little bit of string, which we had to cut off, and we got it going down the rest of this vertical pipe here. So we're going to go ahead and see how this is entering into the system. dropping straight across. And again, you're going to see some of our white string possibly hanging down. So I'm going to pull back up here. I did not see any T-junctions, so I don't know how they would have got this to tie into all the fixtures properly. This may not be connected properly with the right venting. Alright, here's the beginning of the ABS, it looks like. Let me push back our reel back into the thing so we can see when we get close to, yeah, here we go. So we're right at about that 7-foot mark. I don't want to pull back too much more. We'll come back out of this plastic. But we'll show that when we come back out. So this is all straight pipe. Now we have 3 fixtures in this bathroom. We have the toilet, the lav sink, and the tub. That is all one straight piece of pipe. You can see there's a little bit of water there in the bottom. We just made the turn into the system. And there's another quick turn from there. And it looks like it's looping across. So I don't know how this vent is tied in, but based on what we're seeing here, the toilet is on one side of the bathroom, and then the tub and the sink are on the other wall, across from each other. So there'd be no way, without having a T-junction on a single vertical pipe, that this could be to code and attached into properly be venting all the fixtures properly. So this is not done properly for sure. Also, we can see there's a little bit of standing water right there at this first elbow. All drain and vent pipes have to have downward pitch of 1/4 inch per foot. There should never be any standing water in the line. When you have standing water in the line, like you can see right here, that is going to inhibit the drain pipe, or in this case the vent pipe, from functioning properly. It's blocking whether it be the flow or the air and the gases going in or out. So this is a 1-inch camera we're using with what's called a mini push rod behind it. So not sure how this was connected down below. We can see from the crawl space some of the junctions, but how this vent was tied in definitely does not appear to be code. So we're going to go ahead and pull back out here. So again, you can see all our string in front of our camera right here, and some of the bubbles from the water here. So like that, we can see that with debris and bubbles on the face of our camera lens here. Yeah. So here's the string. I'm going to go ahead and grab this string, pull the string back out. Look back down this one more time. So here's our transition. String steered it into the plastic that they pushed up in the side. This is all one straight piece of pipe. And as you can see, distance-wise, we're getting close to that 15-foot mark, which is typical of anywhere between 15 and 18 feet. Would be where from a rooftop you'd be then connecting into the fixtures. So right here at about 16 feet almost. No T-junctions whatsoever, so not sure how they connected this in, but does not look to be the code. So we're going to have to pause the video because this should lead into the sewer pipe off the toilet, but the way things are reconfigured, it's not, so we're not going to have access from here. So we're going to pause the video. Okay, so we just left that vent pipe sticking up there in the corner in the middle of the screen. We now came over to above the master bathroom here. We have a 2-inch vent here, a 2-inch vent here, and then just what appears to be an exhaust there for either a fan or the vent from the attic. We have some other smaller vents protruding there, but that's pretty far away from the bathroom. That's going to be the laundry area. So we have a toilet more towards this big vent here but not an actual vent pipe. So same thing, I'm not sure how things were reconfigured. That vent right there should be for the shower stall. This should be for the his and hers lav sink, but not sure how they tied in the toilet. Hopefully we'll see a T-junction there. So we'll go down this. Okay, as you can see, this pipe was also capped off and abandoned. So this one is not active. We've got a cap in there that they put in. So this one is not an active vent, and it needs to be properly capped here on the rooftop with the gym cap so that moisture and water does not continue to fill up in there over time. I'll go over to the other vent. Let's see if this is what everything is connected into. A little bit of cobwebs here. Pull this back out so we can clean those off our lens. Some little debris right there from, that's possibly a little bee's or hornet's little nest there. Alright, so we're going down this original cast iron vent. Coupling right there. Here we have a turn on the line. And here you can see it's transitioning into plastic pipe. Now we're still going downhill at about a 45-degree angle right here. And then here's another corrected turn, 16th bend. We're still headed down at a downward angle. Looks like this is a T-junction coming up. So this would be how they connected into a couple fixtures here. Can't get our push rod too much further down through. We've made quite a few turns on here. Might have to try with another camera, but it doesn't look like we're going to have access from here to get into the sewer pipe to actually inspect it all. So, coming back out here. So we'll move over. We're going to verify if this vent pipe, or cover right here, I'm sorry, has a pipe in it, which shouldn't, but things have been altered here. So here you can see, this is just, here's the 4-inch, oh, there's the attic itself, I'm sorry. And then these are the vent tubes coming from the exhaust fans from this bathroom and whatever other room they may or may not have them for. We've got 3 of them right here. So no vent pipes for the snaking or cammering for this system. We have 3 more vent pipes here. Okay, this one was something that was abandoned, so the same thing. I'm sure the home inspector probably noted. This goes right into the attic. You can see. This needs to be capped off, otherwise this is going to cause serious water damage first time it ever rains. So that's a big mistake there, but simple fix, cap it off. Come over to the next vent we have here. This one's all been taken apart and also is going to cause major water damage in the house if not corrected. This flashing, as you can see, is all peeled away from the pipe that's coming through it. So this needs to be completely redone, the flashing, or they can put Henry's tar and try to reseal that. They may need to extend this pipe up a little bit more. Same thing, as you can see, right into the attic, so that's going to cause tons of water damage onto the ceiling and everything else around there when it careens off. Now this vent pipe here, oh, that goes nowhere either. Okay, there we go. So this has just been broken off and abandoned. They just left part of the pipe, though, on this one compared to the other one. So this goes nowhere either. So the top of this pipe, again, you can see just goes right into the attic and wall there. So this needs to be actually capped off and then sealed around the flashing or a new flashing. We've got one other roof vent across here, so we'll walk over. This would be the kitchen. And so just to give a frame of reference as well, from we walked in the property, those vents that we were just across where there is none, and the ones left but abandoned as well, that's about where the laundry is. So same thing, I'm not really sure where they ran a vent for the laundry for that was installed there. It may not have one unless there's one in the attic and they branched it all the way across and tied it into that one pipe we have over there that we found. It's somewhat above the shower stall. But anyway, we'll come back over here. This is an 1.5 inch ABS vent. This looks like this is a T or a coupling right there. Okay, this vent has been compromised. As you can see, somebody has put a screw through it and a nail. So we cannot get a camera to go by it. This is sometimes a problem with odors, but essentially same thing. Nobody could ever snake this line from here. Additionally, if moisture was to come through heavily, that could start to leak just slightly through there, not very much, but again, needs to be fixed and corrected. Odors could permeate through there, not too much, pretty unlikely, but again, this is an error by the construction crews. The vent pipe is supposed to be tested, filled with water. This would have failed that type of test, so we cannot get a camera through here either because of this mistake. So we're now going to go ahead and pause the video and see if there's any other vents we missed on the rooftop, and we'll have to go down to the ground level and see if there's any cleanouts we can find. Okay, so we moved into the house because there was no more vents on the rooftop. We've gone through all of them. So we want to show a frame of reference here. So this is the side of the house, and essentially on this wall right here, which has the lav sink and the tub shower valve, that is the wall where the 3-inch original vent is on the rooftop. And that's just coming straight down and going in. Well, on the other side of the wall, this is where that other 2-inch pipe is that's been abandoned. This is where the toilet is. So we don't see anything on the rooftop, and the toilet has to have its own 2-inch vent going above the rooftop to expel the sewer gases out and let air in. There's nothing up there, of course, as we showed. So we've got another specialty camera here that we're going to try to push through the bowl to, one, actually just inspect the sewer line and see if there is some type of T-junction that they've got going up from the floor and across. We'll check the crawl space one more time and see if there's anything visually there, but we're doing this, of course, because we're trying to record this for the purchaser. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video and swap out the cameras. Okay, so we've got this specialty camera that can sometimes make it through toilet bowls and continue down the line, actually. So we'll see if we're able to get that or any of this looked at. So here's the bowl itself. Here's where the bowl empties into the drain and the flange, essentially, off the toilet. This vertically will go down, like we're looking right now, and then it will come to the 90. And then after it makes this 90-degree turn, it needs to run across and tie into the vent as it continues down and across for the sewer. We're going to go ahead and flush the toilet here to see if that'll help get the camera and push by this elbow. Okay, so we just got that to go ahead and push through there, just slightly. So as we continue down this line here, looks like we have a T-junction right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just double check that the lav sink that's not where that's tying into. So we're going to go ahead and see if any water comes by the system. Might come from behind. Nope, came in through there. So that's where the lav sink drain is connecting into the system. So that's not the vent for the toilet, that is the drain line. Now we're going to go ahead and turn on the tub. We're going to back up a little bit here and see if we start to get a heavy flow of water. Here we go. So the tub is coming from the back side of the toilet. Now I believe when we looked in the crawl space, off the pipe coming down from the toilet, there was the T-junction laying on its backside. So one of them is for picking up the tub, and then the other one, I guess, is what they're trying to utilize as the vent. That's not code. It should function perfectly fine, though, that way, being off the backside. But the vent cannot lay horizontally off the backside from a toilet drain coming down and across. But anyway, we got into the pipe. We'll see how far we can continue down the line. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to turn this cold water of the tub and sink back on again, because again, that will kind of help. We're going to flush the toilet one time. That will help move this through the system if we can get this down very far or not. Then once we get all the way out, we'll shut the water off just to verify that everything is draining out and there's no sags or bellies to the line. So we are being able to push through this. This is newer ABS pipe. We could see that from the crawl space. And then this is going to go ahead and have a T-junction where the master bath ties into it, and then they continue out. They might run towards Lou Kelton, the cross street, or right here we have a turn on the line. It may actually then, okay, here's our T-junction right here. It may be running still towards, see the little debris right there in the system, or glue, it's hard to say. Could be running towards Estrella still. We're still able to get this pushed out, so that's some good news. We don't know how far we're going to be able to go. Probably not too much more. We're going to flush this toilet one more time here. That surge of water might help get by. It may not. Doesn't look like it. Looks like pretty much going to be coming to an end here shortly. We really can't push this any further. So anyway, we got out through most of this ABS across this bathroom into the T-junction where the other bathroom does tie into it. So we're going to go ahead and pull this back out. Now that the water's all off, here's that T-junction right here. Again, this is a very small specialty camera, so the images and everything's kind of flip-flops and gets inverted. What we'll do is we'll push back up to this T-junction right here, and we're going to go ahead and leave it recording, and we're going to run over to the other bathroom and see if when we flush the toilet that water cascades by the screen here, so that we can verify that that is in fact the T-junction for this part of the main, which it should be. No many other junctions, so there we go. So that's the toilet we just flushed in the master bathroom. So that is the T-junction, of course, which we expected it to be. So now we'll go ahead and pull this camera all the way back out of this bathroom. This will be just to verify there's no sags or bellies in the pipe, that all the ABS has proper downhill slope. It appeared to be when looking into the crawl space, but the inside is what really shows if there's any hiccups to the downhill slope that's required. Okay, here's our T-junction for the lav sink already. So now we're coming back up through here this short distance. Now we're coming back up and through the China toilet bowl. So we have what appears to be a backside vent connection off this toilet drain. Again, not to code, but will still allow the venting process. You won't get what's called airlock, it should allow this to function properly, just not done the right way. Just need to make you aware of that. We're going to go ahead and pause the video and move over to the master bathroom. Okay, so we're now here in the master bath with his and her sink, the shower stall, and the toilet. Again, from the rooftop, we had the one vent pipe up there. All the other ones were abandoned improperly. We don't know if everything has got running across and some type of connection. So same thing, we're going to go ahead and try to go through this toilet to try to get an idea. So here's the entry into the sewer pipe, going vertically down and then dropping across. Let's see what we've got here. I'm going to go ahead and see, we've got a little bit of standing water in the pipe there. It's not draining out too bad. It's a short run, but let's see what this pipe is doing here. Okay, we're trying to go up. So this is actually the vent. So you can see right here, they have, just like the other bathroom, they have underneath the flange, after the short piece of vertical pipe, they have a T-junction. Instead of a 90 that would run towards the T, and off the one back side of the T, they use what's called a sanitary T, which is not code as well. The one back side is what they're using for the vent, and the other side for the drain. And you can see right here, because it's not a directional fitting, our camera went through and happened to cream by and go across the vent. So the other way is the way the sewer pipe runs. So let's back this up. So you can see there's a little hub right there. And so that's the T-junction. Right after it drops vertically down, it goes into this T. So it can go in either direction, essentially, but it's not supposed to be able to do that. It's supposed to use, called it, again, a directional fitting. The way they do have this sanitary T laid, though, it's actually forcing my camera the first time there to run across through the vent. Now this time, our camera, we were able to get it and pulled it back, and it's going the way of direction of flow finally. So we're going to flush the toilet. And there you go, you can see all the water running by there. So we're now going to go ahead and push through here. Here's where we have our T-junction. This is, again, the image is upside down, but that's going to be where the sink and the shower stall dump into the sewer main. So here's where we've got a bunch of standing water in the pipe here. We're going to let that kind of drain out and see if that was just from the toilet flush. Again, no part of the system should have any water being retained in the pipe. It has to have a 1/4 inch of downhill slope for every foot it travels. So for every 4 feet, it needs to be 1 full inch deeper. What we call sag or belly that's holding water due to improper downhill slope can lead to stoppages and blockages because things don't flow and drain out of there properly with heavy usage of feces, toilet paper, and whatnot. So this one doesn't look too bad, but it is there. So you can see we are completely underwater, and we should not be at all. We're still underwater. So this line, as you can see here, is out of code. I'm not saying that it's not going to function perfectly all the time, or for the most part, but I can't guarantee that. Again, once it really starts to get lived in and a multitude of debris goes down, we don't ever recommend flushable wipes on any system. But if somebody did put flushable wipes down, this is the kind of thing that just would not make it through this system. But again, even normal feces and toilet paper that can go down any system may build up and back up on this type of problem with the line. So when this was installed, this was all done improperly and not checked. Either wasn't permitted or the company or plumbers or installation people did not check their work with what's called a red eye level, which shows you the downhill slope against having the proper slope per foot when it's put in. So we're coming out of that now. So we're definitely out of that worst part. There's a little bit of water in the bottom, but that's negligible there. Again, we're just going to see how far we can get because We did not see any cleanouts on the exterior wall of this master bathroom, which again is the back end of the side of the shower stall and the sinks. So nothing was extended off the main sewer, and we know it couldn't probably do that because the back side of the vent, or the T for the toilet as it comes down, is being used as a vent instead of being extended as an actual drain clean out. Okay, so here we have the T-junction, so that's what's picking up the other bathroom that we came across already. We're going to go ahead and flush the toilet here. We may even turn on the faucet to get more water to see if we can keep continuing down this line. So we're going to push kind of fast while we've got water going. Try to see what we've got here. So here we have a coupling, and this is a transition back into the original cast iron pipe. So this is probably right at the foundation wall of the house. I believe this is headed towards Estrella because this was a straight shot out. And the other line, I believe, was a turn. We'll kind of look into the crawl space and somewhat double check that. So we do have a clean transition from the ABS to the cast iron. We're now in the original cast iron. Right here it is open and in good condition. I don't know how much farther we're going to be able to continue to push. Again, we're going through this toilet. Getting a little difficult here, so what we're going to do is turn on the sink, some cold water in the shower, and see if that can help us get through this pipe a little bit further. I'm going to flush the toilet another time. Hopefully with this multitude of water we can get out a little bit further. And we'll double check the grass and perimeter and see if there is a clean out that we just have not seen on the property and just slightly walking around. It's really getting difficult to get pushed out through here any further. I don't know if we're going to only make it a couple more inches and that's about it. We'd like to get all the way out because this is, again, all the original cast iron. We want to verify there's no roots or other problems with the system. Flush the toilet, that kind of helped us out a little bit. We may go do the other toilet and water as well, really inundate this. Getting out pretty far, so we're getting pretty lucky. We're going to go ahead and flush the other toilet to really inundate this system, see if we can get a little bit further out. We were out quite a ways. Okay, we have water running through the other bathroom as well now, so we're trying to really get this to help get out as much as we can here. Again, we're still in original cast iron pipe. Okay, so we are now at the end of this horizontal line. This should be the property line all the way out by the front sidewalk area pretty much. So we're going to go ahead and pause the video because we're going to shut all the water off and allow that to drain down. Okay, so we've got the water stopped running, and so you can see we're at pipe image is kind of inverted again with this small camera. We're going to pull back here so you can see this horizontal line is ending. This is going to be at the property line. So on the bottom side of the screen, away from the water on the top, that's actually a clean-out tee, the original property line clean-out. So this perfectly horizontal pipe is making a full 90-degree turn to go down and deep, and then it'll transition with another 90 and then head across and under the sidewalk, the frontage, and into the street and dump into the city eventually. Without any cleanouts here, even a regular camera wouldn't get by these couple 90s that we're staring at here that have to be made at this upcoming turn here. So this camera doesn't have a very strong sonde to do location, but what I am going to go ahead and do is turn that on, and we'll locate where this is at to get a general idea of the pipe in case it ever does need to be dug up. So before we pull the camera back and show the rest of the pipe now that the water's off, we're going to go ahead and locate this really quick. Okay, so we've gone ahead and located the sewer pipe. It is in the front yard. The sewer pipe runs towards Estrella. This pipe right here is about 18 inches deep, and we've marked it with some green paint and put a little stake in the ground at the same spot, denoting again this property line clean out T-junction. So we're going to pull back now out of the system, showing this cast iron. We did not notice anything when we had traveled down the line, but without the water running, we want to make sure we weren't missing anything here. Now again, we cannot inspect past the property line, and that is still the homeowner's responsibility to correct and maintain the line all the way out into the street. The only time the city would be involved and can get involved is if from a property line cleanout, which is not installed right now to surface, the line was broken or collapsed after that point. A video would have to be created showing the problem. They would review it, then they would come out from the property line clean out, inspect it again, and then fix that. But if there's roots in the line or any other issues, that is not something the city can get or would take care of for you. So again, we're not finding any problems here. We don't know the line past that if they've ever had issues, but that would have to be dug up and exposed, or additional cleanouts put in on our markings in the future if there was ever an issue, because there's no access here from the house. Again, no roof vents can be snaked. And when you pull the toilets, you have to be very careful because your cable, just like the camera, may go in the wrong direction. And you have to bring all this equipment inside the house, which is bad as well. So again, here's our transition back to the plastic. So we've seen all this. So we'll go ahead and pause the video while we pull the rest of this completely out of the system. Okay, we just came back up to that sag belly for this side of the house, and we want to show this one more time. So again, as we're pushing back forward again a little bit, as we make this turn and transition, we start to come out of this, but it's again quite heavy and long as far as the amount of pipe that does not have proper downhill slope. So as we pull the camera back, kind of creates a wave, moves the water around, but we wanted just to show that again. So you can see there's that pool of water that starts right at this turn fitting here. And then once you go through this turn, as we continue to push, it lasts through this section and forward for a little bit. So we just wanted to reiterate that one more time. Okay, so we've come outside the house here just to show. So here's the front door. Here's our marking right here. So you can see there's the house. Here's where the line comes straight out of the house. And right here where you see PLCO, that's property line clean out, 18 inches deep, and we have the green paint there. So in case this stake gets pulled out or thrown out, the green paint denotes the pipe. And right after the green paint, which is about 4 feet till you get to the sidewalk. So there's the sidewalk, the curb, 4 feet across, and then you come to this. So this pipe here going back is again only about 18 inches deep in this area, and then right here at the green stake property line clean out, that's where the pipe makes a vertical downturn with a buried T-junction. So if the line ever has to be cleaned out from this stake outward, this is going to have to be dug up and accessed. And at that same time, you could also put in additional cleanouts, then going back into the house if that ever had to be cleaned up, since you have no other cleanouts. We're now going to go ahead and move to the side of the house really quick to show the bathroom from the crawl space really quick. Okay, so we moved over to this side of the house. We just want to show this really quick as best as we can. Here's the crawl space entrance, and straight forward from here you can see that vent, or that's the vent pipe for the toilet. So that horizontal line coming off the back side of this 2-inch Y junction, the one to the right, that picks up the tub. That's not to code, but it will still allow it to function pretty much normally. Then it goes over to the toilet, and then the other pipe from the lab ties in. Now, as soon as we went into the crawl space to verify what they had done, we immediately noticed that the T-junction, where the lavatory drain for this bathroom ties into the main, appears to be going down and then up. You can actually just see from the joists and the wood that's there that the pipe is lower and then it's going up higher. So what we did is we went into the crawl space, can't really drag our camera back in there, and we took a couple photos here with our Samsung Galaxy phone. So this is a red line level. It's kind of hard to see, but the bubble is all the way to the left there in the red line. So that's improper, because obviously, we'll show you the live right here really quick. Obviously, if it has downhill slope, that bubble will be, as you can see, on the right hand side. As it becomes level, it goes to the middle, and if it goes uphill, the bubble stays to the left in that red line, and that's what you've got going on here at the lavatory sink line. So we could tell that just by visually looking at it, but we wanted to go and take a snapshot photo of that. I've got one more photo here. So again, here's where the lavatory line, the level we put on it, that photo, it runs across, and then here's where it ties into the main sewer, and then back behind there is to where the toilet dumps in. So this has basically got a big bow or an arc to it, causing uphill slope, so it's improperly installed. So we could not create a video of that from the inside of the line showing the sagger belly because of the type of vanity and sink that's installed in this hall bathroom. It's a floating sink, essentially, vanity, and the piping has multiple turns in 90, so there's not an easy way to undo the trap and get in there and even put a camera through the line. So that's why we did this really quick to show. Maybe the home inspector noticed that as well, we're not sure. But anyway, that's everything we can show from these videos here. We cannot inspect the other lines for the sink and shower for the master bath. We hope that those are angled properly. But we do have the sag and belly from the main sewer for the master bath, and then a sag belly here for this lavatory. And then again, some of the improper venting, still probably going to stay functional, but just not to code. So that concludes the recording for this property.